For centuries, the Galactic Empire had maintained its iron grip over the majority of the galaxy, enforcing its will through a strict chain of command and demanding unquestioning obedience. Smaller planets and autonomous systems complied reluctantly, driven by fear or the instinct to survive, fully aware that defiance would invite swift and merciless retaliation. Humanity, a relatively recent entrant into the interstellar community, managed to navigate this precarious political landscape with cautious diplomacy and a deliberate effort to avoid open conflict. Earth's leaders prioritized forging peaceful relations, recognizing that outright resistance against such a colossal power was a perilous gamble. Their strategy revolved around demonstrating their worth as allies, presenting themselves as partners rather than challengers. Yet, they knew that if their autonomy were ever threatened, humanity would have to defend it with unwavering resolve. When the Galactic Empire extended an invitation for formal talks, Earth's leadership viewed it as an opportunity to strengthen ties. They chose one of their most esteemed diplomats for the mission, a man renowned for his poise, integrity, and mastery of negotiation. To Earth, he was not just a representative, but a beacon of their aspirations for peace and stability. His assignment was clear: build trust, find common ground, and affirm humanity's place in the galactic order without sacrificing independence. Over the following weeks, the diplomat skillfully navigated the Empire's labyrinthine bureaucracy, approaching every interaction with patience and respect. He believed that even a power as imposing as the Empire could be reasoned with if approached diplomatically. Yet, the Empire's reception of humanity was far from what Earth had hoped. The officials he encountered regarded humans as an inferior species, unworthy of equal standing. To them, Earth was just another insignificant world in a galaxy teeming with far greater civilizations. Humanity's diplomatic overtures were dismissed as naive at best and arrogant at worst. Despite the veiled insults and condescension cloaked in formality, the diplomat maintained his composure. He recognized the undertones of menace in their words but remained steadfast, driven by the hope that perseverance could win humanity a seat at the table. However, as the talks progressed, the Empire's disdain became increasingly apparent. They subtly belittled humanity's achievements and dismissed its potential, expecting submission rather than collaboration. Unwilling to compromise Earth's dignity, the diplomat responded with quiet defiance. While his tone remained diplomatic, his stance was firm. Humanity sought mutual respect and cooperation, not subjugation. He refused to yield to the Empire's expectations of subservience, making it clear that Earth's independence was non-negotiable. This quiet resistance irritated the Empire's representatives, who were unaccustomed to such resolve from a relatively young and unproven species. In the final stages of the negotiations, the atmosphere grew tense. The Empire's tolerance for humanity's unyielding stance began to erode, setting the stage for a confrontation that neither side could avoid. The fragile peace shattered when the diplomat, steadfast in his convictions, firmly rejected the Empire's lead negotiator's demand for Earth's absolute submission. His words were measured but resolute, a declaration that humanity would never trade its freedom for safety. What the diplomat saw as a principled stand for independence, the Empire viewed as blatant defiance. To them, his response was not just an insult but a direct challenge to their unyielding authority, an act of rebellion that could not be tolerated. In a swift and calculated move, the Empire seized the diplomat. The execution that followed was cold and public, broadcast across every Empire-controlled channel. The act was deliberate, a brutal display of power meant to remind humanity and the galaxy of the cost of defiance. The message was clear: submission was the only path to survival. Earth's leaders, watching the broadcast in horror, were stunned by the audacity of the Empire's actions. Their diplomat had come in peace, unarmed and with an open hand, yet he had been killed as a spectacle to reinforce the Empire's dominance. Shock quickly gave way to outrage, and across Earth, fury ignited a collective resolve. The diplomat's death became more than a tragedy. It became a rallying cry. Grief swept across humanity, but with it came unprecedented unity. Political divisions, once seemingly insurmountable, faded into irrelevance. Across nations and cultures, people stood together, united in purpose. The diplomat's sacrifice had sparked a determination that transcended borders. It was no longer a question of whether to respond, but how to do so decisively. In an emergency summit, Earth's leaders faced the gravest decision in human history. The Empire had drawn a line in the sand, forcing Earth to choose between submission and resistance. With unwavering resolve, they declared humanity's commitment to defend its sovereignty, even at the risk of war. It was a historic moment, a unanimous decision born not of hubris but of necessity. The Empire had underestimated humanity's will, and this miscalculation would become Earth's greatest advantage. The response was swift distinct and focused. Earth's brightest minds, scientists, engineers, and strategists, mobilized to prepare for what would be humanity's first interstellar conflict. Resources were pooled, industries converted to wartime production, and technology advanced at an unprecedented pace. Defense systems were upgraded, experimental weaponry was fast-tracked, and military forces underwent rigorous training for scenarios no one had truly believed they would face. Civilians joined the effort, contributing their skills and resources to support the monumental task ahead. Communities organized supply chains, built morale, and ensured that the war effort extended beyond the battlefield. Every corner of Earth buzzed with activity, a planet united not by fear but by resolve. The Empire's broadcast had been intended to break humanity's spirit, to send a message of humiliation and submission. Instead, it had forged a determination stronger than the Empire could have imagined. Earth would not cower in fear. It would rise, prepared to fight not only for survival but for the ideals of freedom and dignity that the Diplomat had so valiantly represented. Humanity was no longer content to be a mere participant in the galaxy's affairs. They were ready to carve their place, not through submission but through unrelenting defiance. The Empire's broadcast had backfired spectacularly, igniting a global movement unified under one purpose: resistance against tyranny. Within mere weeks, Earth had transformed itself into a planet ready for war. Its military forces, industries, and scientific communities were mobilized with an unprecedented focus, driven by the shared determination to defy oppression. Every action was deliberate, every resource allocated with precision, as humanity prepared to face a far superior enemy. Earth's engineers and scientists, galvanized by grief and anger, worked around the clock. Laboratories and factories were repurposed to develop cutting-edge technology tailored to counter the Empire's strengths. AI-driven drones capable of autonomous combat, EMP weapons designed to disable vast fleets, and energy shields that could repel even the Empire's most devastating attacks were among the innovations rapidly brought to life. The Diplomat's death had become a catalyst for unparalleled progress. What once might have taken decades to achieve was accomplished in weeks. For every fallen hero, there was a renewed sense of purpose. Humanity's brightest minds poured their grief into creation, crafting tools of survival and defiance that would level the playing field against the Empire's overwhelming force. Meanwhile, Earth's military underwent a transformation. Soldiers, many of whom had never seen interstellar combat, were trained with relentless intensity. Battle-hardened veterans and strategic commanders developed new doctrines, emphasizing adaptability and unconventional warfare. Earth's forces would not seek to match the Empire in size. Instead, they would exploit its weaknesses. Training focused on rapid response, guerrilla tactics, and the seamless integration of advanced technology. Every pilot, technician, and soldier became a critical part of the larger strategy. The urgency extended beyond the battlefield. Civilians contributed in every way possible, from building supply chains to volunteering their skills in support roles. Communities united to sustain the war effort, fostering resilience and solidarity across nations. Humanity's newfound unity was its greatest strength, a collective will to protect its freedom and its future. Earth's leaders, emboldened by this surge of determination, delivered a final message to the Galactic Empire. It was firm, deliberate, and devoid of fear. They condemned the murder of their diplomat as an atrocity and declared that humanity would not be cowed. The message carried a simple but powerful statement. Earth desired peace, but it would not compromise its independence. If the Empire sought to subjugate humanity, it would find an adversary ready to stand and fight. As the Empire's fleets loomed on the horizon, Earth braced for the inevitable confrontation. Every citizen, soldier, and scientist understood the stakes. The conflict would be grueling, and the odds were daunting, but humanity was undeterred. The death of the diplomat had set a spark, igniting a fire that would not be extinguished. What lay ahead was more than a war for survival. It was a battle to define humanity's place in the galaxy. Earth stood united, ready to fight for its sovereignty, its dignity, and the ideals that bound its people together. The storm was coming, but humanity would meet it with resilience, courage, and an unyielding resolve. The call for unity extended far beyond the halls of government and military command, resonating deeply with civilians. Across the globe, people from every background stepped forward to contribute however they could. Factories swiftly transitioned from producing consumer goods to manufacturing weapons, armor, and the logistical necessities of a sustained conflict. Skilled workers volunteered their expertise, taking on roles in technical support, medical services, and infrastructure maintenance. Their shared goal was simple yet profound: to ensure humanity's survival and independence. Artists, musicians, and writers played their part as well, inspiring hope and resolve through powerful messages that flooded media networks. Their creations actions reminded humanity of what they were fighting for: their freedom, their future, and their collective spirit. Messages of resilience spread like wildfire, solidifying the unity that had emerged from the tragedy. Earth was preparing itself not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually, understanding that this war would test every facet of their endurance. Meanwhile, Earth's intelligence agencies launched a massive effort to gather information about the Galactic Empire. Analysts and operatives worked tirelessly to uncover the Empire's vulnerabilities, studying intercepted communications, historical records, and battlefield reports. Patterns began to emerge: the Empire's rigid command structure, their over-reliance on centralized logistics, and their tendency to overwhelm opponents with brute force rather than adaptability. These insights became the foundation of Earth's strategy. A bold plan began to take shape. Military leaders concluded that a defensive stance alone would only prolong the inevitable. Instead, they proposed a preemptive strike, an assault on a key Empire outpost near human-controlled space. This calculated move aimed to catch the Empire off guard, delivering a message that humanity would not passively wait to be conquered. It was a high-risk maneuver, but one that could potentially disrupt the Empire's momentum and buy Earth precious time. Earth's scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to refine the tools of resistance. Advanced defensive shields capable of withstanding the Empire's devastating weapons were finalized. Pulse weapons designed to disable enemy communication systems were deployed. Breakthroughs in stealth technology allowed Earth's ships to move undetected, while new propulsion systems granted them unparalleled speed and maneuverability. Each innovation was a testament to humanity's ingenuity, born from the urgent need to level the playing field against a vastly superior foe. The weeks leading up to the planned strike were marked by unrelenting preparation. Soldiers underwent intense training, mastering the new technologies and strategies that would define this unprecedented conflict. Families tearfully said their farewells, aware of the sacrifices that lay ahead. Civilians organized themselves into support networks, providing everything from supplies to morale. Leaders delivered speeches that echoed the same promise: Earth would stand firm, no matter the cost. The memory of the Diplomat's execution lingered in every heart and mind. It had become more than a tragedy. It was a symbol, a rallying cry that united humanity in defiance. Across the planet, a shared determination solidified. Earth would not bow, and the Empire would learn that even the smallest spark could ignite a fire capable of challenging the stars. The Empire's broadcast, intended to instill fear and submission, had achieved the exact opposite. Instead of breaking Earth's spirit, it had galvanized humanity, turning the Diplomat's death into a rallying cry for unity and defiance. His sacrifice became a symbol of resistance, inspiring Earth's people to rise together in defense of their honor and future. With their forces mobilized and their strategy set, Earth's leaders sent one final message to the Empire, a declaration of their resolve. The message was brief but unwavering. Earth would not bow. The Empire's actions had left humanity no choice but to respond, and they would fight, not for conquest, but for their right to exist as equals among the stars. Broadcast over Empire-controlled channels, the message served as a warning that Earth would meet aggression with the full strength of a united planet. The boldness of the statement sent ripples through the galaxy, surprising not only the Empire but also the countless species who had long dismissed humanity as insignificant. As Earth's fleets prepared to launch, the atmosphere was one of solemn determination. Across the planet, people understood the gravity of the moment. The coming conflict was more than a battle for survival. It was a defining moment in humanity's history. The weeks of preparation, the sacrifices, and the shared resolve had forged a new collective identity. Humanity was no longer divided by nations or ideologies. They were one, standing together against an enemy that had underestimated their resilience. The mission was daring and precise: a strike on a key Empire outpost, a heavily fortified hub of operations near human-controlled space. This outpost symbolized the Empire's dominance in the region and served as a critical node in their command network. Earth's leaders had meticulously studied its defenses, exploiting every vulnerability to craft a plan that would maximize damage while minimizing casualties. As the fleet approached, radio silence was maintained, and the ships relied on newly developed cloaking technology to evade detection. The cloaks, engineered during the frantic weeks of preparation, disrupted the Empire's advanced sensors and masked Earth's fleet from their scanners. The silence was heavy with anticipation as every soldier and pilot braced for the moment that would ignite the war. When the attack began, it was executed with stunning precision. The first wave of strikes targeted the outpost's communication systems, severing its connection to the Empire's central command. The move was calculated to disorient and isolate the defenders, buying Earth's forces a narrow but crucial window to act. Using pinpoint targeting systems, Earth's ships struck at the outpost's critical infrastructure, power generators, defensive turrets, and logistical hubs, crippling its ability to mount an effective response. The outpost's garrison, caught off guard by the sheer efficiency of the assault, scrambled to organize a defense. However, Earth's forces were relentless, adapting to the unfolding chaos with a level of coordination and ingenuity that the Empire had not expected. The guards, accustomed to overwhelming their enemies through superior firepower and numbers, struggled to counter the precision and focus of Earth's strikes. Every maneuver, every shot, was a testament to the discipline and unity that had become Earth's hallmark. The outpost, a symbol of the Empire's invincibility, began to crumble under the weight of humanity's defiance. Earth's forces had not only delivered a devastating blow, but had sent a message that echoed across the galaxy. Humanity would not be silenced, and the Empire's power was not absolute. As reinforcements from the Empire approached, Earth's fleet began a calculated retreat, leaving behind a shattered outpost and a stark warning. The strike had done more than inflict damage. It had proven that the Empire's arrogance was their weakness. Humanity had made its first move, and the galaxy was watching. The war for Earth's future had begun, and humanity was ready to fight. Each unit in Earth's fleet moved with precision and unity, executing coordinated attacks that systematically dismantled the outpost's defenses. Unlike the Empire's rigid, hierarchical approach to warfare, Earth's forces adapted in real time, altering strategies to exploit emerging weaknesses. This fluidity, born from intensive training and innovative tactics, allowed them to disrupt the outpost's defensive systems, preventing any organized counterattack from taking shape. The Empire's initial response was disjointed, their forces struggling to regroup against the unexpected assault. Reinforcements within the outpost were deployed hastily, their efforts focused on re-establishing control. However, Earth's forces pressed forward relentlessly. They were outnumbered but not outmatched, using their mobility, precision, and adaptability to maintain the upper hand. Each squad leveraged the environment, finding cover and striking from advantageous positions, while decoys and diversions sowed confusion among the defenders. The Empire's reinforcements found themselves repeatedly outmaneuvered, hampered by their reliance on predictable, brute force tactics. Earth's commanders, having anticipated this inflexibility, exploited it with calculated precision. Tactical feints lured the Empire's troops out of position, creating openings for devastating strikes on critical systems. The defenders were forced into a reactive stance, burning through their resources while failing to contain the assault. As the battle escalated, Earth's forces began to deliver decisive blows to the outpost's infrastructure. Explosions rippled through its core, and the Empire's defenders scrambled to contain the cascading destruction. The sight of the once imposing station faltering under the assault sent a powerful message. The Empire was not invincible. For Earth's soldiers and pilots, each successful strike was a testament to their training, ingenuity, and resolve. The collapsing outpost marked more than a tactical victory. It became a symbol of defiance. The Empire's grip on power, long seen as unshakable, had been fractured. Yet Earth's forces were acutely aware of the looming threat. Reinforcements from the Empire's central command were en route, their sheer numbers threatening to overwhelm the human fleet. Earth's commanders, prepared for this eventuality, executed a well-rehearsed exit strategy. With their primary objectives achieved, the order to retreat was given. Earth's fleet disengaged with discipline and precision, delivering final strikes to cripple the outpost and ensure it could not recover quickly. The withdrawal was as calculated as the assault, leaving the Empire's arriving reinforcements to find only the smoldering remnants of what had once been a formidable station. As Earth's ships regrouped at a safe distance, a final message was transmitted across the Empire's communication channels. The declaration was clear and resolute. Humanity would not be cowed. They would meet aggression with unyielding determination, and any attempt to subjugate Earth would be met with resistance. The Empire had sought to crush Earth's spirit, but instead, they had ignited a defiance that burned brighter than ever. The battle for humanity's place in the galaxy had begun, and Earth's first strike had proven that they were a force to be reckoned with. The broadcast of humanity's message reverberated across the Empire's networks, a defiant declaration that echoed throughout the galaxy. For the first time in centuries, the Empire faced a species that did not tremble before its might, a world that chose confrontation over submission. Humanity's message was unambiguous. While they sought peace, they would meet provocation with decisive force. The attack on the Empire's outpost rippled far beyond the battlefield, shaking the foundations of the Empire's perceived invincibility. News of Earth's victory traveled swiftly, spreading hope among distant distant systems that had long endured the Empire's iron grip. To these oppressed worlds, humanity's defiance was a spark of inspiration, a beacon that suggested the Empire was not as untouchable as they had been led to believe. Allied systems began to take notice, where once they might have dismissed humanity as insignificant newcomers to the galactic stage, they now saw a species unafraid to challenge the status quo. Whispers of rebellion spread, and discontent simmered in corners of the galaxy that had long been silent under the Empire's rule. What the Empire had intended as a show of dominance over Earth had instead become a symbol of resistance, igniting new hope for freedom. For Earth, the mission was a triumph, yet the victory was only the first step in what promised to be a long and grueling conflict. The Empire's response would be swift, overwhelming, and merciless. Earth's leaders knew they had provoked a formidable adversary, one that would stop at nothing to reassert its dominance. But humanity had prepared for this moment. They understood the stakes and had committed to enduring whatever hardships lay ahead. As Earth's fleet returned home, their confidence swelled. The destruction of the outpost was a testament to their strategic ingenuity and determination. It was proof that the Empire's power, while vast, was not insurmountable. The victory strengthened Earth's resolve to defend their sovereignty, no matter the cost. The Diplomat's execution, meant to subjugate, had instead unified humanity and transformed their grief into a driving force for resistance. In the days following the strike, Earth's leaders addressed their people. They spoke of the collective strength that had secured this first victory and reaffirmed their commitment to the fight for humanity's future. This war was no longer just about defending Earth. It was about establishing humanity's place in the galaxy and standing against tyranny. Every citizen, from soldiers to civilians, knew they were part of something larger, a fight for dignity, freedom, and survival. The Empire's retaliation came faster than expected. Humiliated by the loss of one of their key outposts and enraged by humanity's audacity, the Empire mobilized a fleet of unprecedented scale. Massive warships bristling with advanced weaponry moved into formation, accompanied by an armada that stretched across light years. Their arrival carried an unmistakable message. The Empire would crush humanity's resistance and extinguish their hope. On Earth, anticipation thickened as the shadow of the Empire's fleet loomed closer. Yet fear gave way to resolve. The people of Earth, emboldened by their initial success, stood united. This battle was no longer about a single planet. It was a fight to prove that humanity had the right to exist on its own terms, free from oppression. As the Empire's forces approached, Earth's military and civilian populations prepared for the inevitable clash. The galaxy was watching, and humanity was determined to meet the challenge head-on, proving that even the mightiest empire could be defied when a people stood together with unyielding resolve. The knowledge of the Empire's intent to annihilate Earth did not instill fear. It solidified humanity's resolve. Survival was no longer just a necessity. It was a principle, a defiant stand against tyranny. Across the globe, cities and communities worked in unison to support the defense effort. Factories operated around the clock, producing weapons and supplies, while civilians volunteered to bolster logistics and morale. Humanity's unity was its greatest strength, an unbreakable bond forged in the crucible of shared purpose. As the Empire's colossal fleet loomed closer, Earth's forces put their meticulously designed defense strategy into motion. Instead of engaging the Empire in open combat, a battle they could not win through sheer numbers, Earth utilized the unique geography of their home system to construct a layered defense. Asteroid belts became minefields, planetary orbits were fortified with orbital platforms, and gravitational fields were weaponized to create kill zones. This strategy funneled the Empire's forces into pre-planned choke points, where Earth's fleets awaited with precision strikes. The opening skirmishes were ferocious. Earth's smaller, more agile ships struck like vipers, delivering coordinated volleys that crippled key vessels before retreating to safety. The Empire's large, cumbersome ships struggled to maneuver in the tight quarters Earth's forces created. Commanders on Earth had anticipated the Empire's heavy-handed tactics and exploited them, forcing the invaders into a battle that played to humanity's strengths. Every engagement was a test of adaptability. Humanity's commanders relied on advanced AI systems that monitored the battlefield in real time, analyzing enemy movements and recalibrating tactics on the fly. Earth's ships, equipped with cutting-edge targeting systems, delivered devastating strikes against the Empire's shields, weapons arrays, and engines. In the chaos, the Empire's rigid formations began to falter, unable to keep up with humanity's fluid and unpredictable maneuvers. Yet, the Empire's strength lay in its sheer numbers, and reinforcements poured in relentlessly. The skies around Earth burned with the intensity of the conflict as wave after wave of Empire ships pushed Earth's defenses to the brink. Casualties mounted on both sides, and Earth's forces began to feel the strain. Still, they fought with unyielding determination, regrouping and counterattacking with remarkable precision. Every retreat was tactical, every advance deliberate, as humanity sought to make every strike count. Recognizing that the key to victory lay in disrupting the Empire's centralized command structure, Earth's commanders devised a daring plan. A select strike force, comprised of humanity's most advanced ships and its most skilled pilots, was tasked with a high-risk assault on the Empire's central command ship. These vessels, equipped with state-of-the-art cloaking technology and experimental EMP weaponry, slipped through the chaos of the front lines undetected. As they neared the massive command ship, the strike force executed their attack with surgical precision. EMP bursts disabled the ship's critical systems, plunging it into darkness and severing its connection with the rest of the fleet. In an instant, the Empire's forces were thrown into disarray. Without centralized commands, their coordination crumbled, leaving individual ships vulnerable and their formations scattered. The strike force's success was a turning point. Earth's fleet capitalized on the confusion, launching a series of devastating counterattacks that further destabilized the Empire's forces. For the first time, the Empire's mighty fleet, which had seemed unstoppable, appeared vulnerable. The tide of battle shifted, and humanity's defiance shone as a beacon of hope across the galaxy. The cost had been steep, but Earth's forces had demonstrated their resilience and ingenuity. They had turned the Empire's greatest strengths, its size and rigidity, into its weaknesses, proving that even the most powerful could be brought low by those who refused to submit. Humanity's fight was far from over, but this victory was a reminder that they could stand against the darkness and prevail. The impact of the strike on the Empire's command ship was both immediate and far-reaching. Without centralized leadership, the Empire's fleet fell into chaos, its once imposing formations dissolving as individual ships struggled to coordinate their actions. Earth's forces, seizing the opportunity, launched a relentless series of precision attacks, targeting the disorganized fleet with ruthless efficiency. What had once appeared as an unstoppable juggernaut now seemed vulnerable, its strength undermined by its inability to adapt. Earth's fleet, though battered and weary, pressed their advantage. Concentrated assaults tore through the Empire's lines, leaving destruction in their wake. The vast scale and firepower of the Empire's forces were no match for Earth's agility and strategic ingenuity. Earth's commanders, emboldened by the turn of events, pushed the offensive further, determined to drive the invaders completely out of their system. As the battle entered its final hours, the tide shifted decisively in humanity's favor. The Empire's commanders, faced with mounting losses and a collapsing offensive, made the unprecedented decision to order a full retreat. It was a move born not of strategy but necessity, an acknowledgement that their forces could no longer sustain the fight. For the first time, the Galactic Empire, an entity synonymous with invincibility, had been forced to retreat. Humanity's forces pursued the fleeing remnants of the Empire's fleet, ensuring they were driven completely from the Sol system. When the last of the Empire's ships vanished into the void, Earth's victory was undeniable. The once overwhelming threat had been repelled, and the Empire's aura of invincibility lay in ruins, shattered by the resolve of a single planet. The aftermath of the battle was a mix of triumph and solemn reflection. Earth had endured the unthinkable, standing against a force that had once seemed insurmountable. The cost, however, was heavy. Many lives had been lost, and the toll on Earth's resources and infrastructure was immense. Yet the victory was a testament to the power of unity and determination. Humanity had defended its home and proven that strength was not solely the domain of the powerful but also of the resolute. News of Earth's defiance and triumph spread like wildfire across the galaxy. Worlds under the Empire's rule, long resigned to submission, now dared to hope. Humanity's victory became a symbol, a beacon of resistance against oppression. Species that had suffered under the Empire's domination began to question the inevitability of their plight, inspired by Earth's refusal to yield. Earth's stand against the Empire marked a turning point, not just for humanity but for the galaxy itself. It was a reminder that even the mightiest regimes could be challenged and that true strength lay in the courage to resist, no matter the odds. For Earth, the battle had been won, but the war was far from over. Humanity's message, however, was clear. They would not be conquered, and their fight for freedom would echo across the stars.